When you dramatically automate an organization, you change the pools of power in the organization. In February, I was doing an AI strategy project for the C-suite of a Fortune 1000 company. We went to many of the leaders in AI research. We had interviews with them. I spoke to many of their executives. We did this workshop with the C-suite. They loved it. It was like a rock show. People were having a great time. And then I thought, oh man, looked at our contract, realized no one had talked about writing a report about what happened so that all the other people in the organization might know what happens next. Now, these things take like 100 hours for me to write. This was a problem because it would have blown the budget for the organization and had to think about what to do next. So I stepped back and I realized, wait a second, in December, we started recording transcripts of everything we do on Zoom. In January, we started just taking a cell phone in our meetings and putting it in there and shooting a little video of what happened. And I realized we had data from analysts. And I realized we had annual reports. We could pull all of this in. And then I could start asking him questions. 3 hours later, I had a 12-page report that the C-suite of this organization absolutely loved. If I can create a 97% increase in efficiency between December and March, what happens when everybody's able to increase their efficiency dramatically? Radically different kind of world. We're moving into a world where one person, maybe a junior person, isn't managing 1,000 people, but maybe they're managing 1,000 processes, AI metallurgists, AI economists, AI consultants to replace me. In that world, you don't just need one person who's a good decision maker at the top, you need really high quality decision makers throughout. The junior leaders of tomorrow need the skills of senior leaders today. When we think about the innovation, not just that businesses do, but of business, businesses sit upon networks, whether it's economies, railways, the internet, so on and so forth. Our current organizational structure today is built on the basis of the railway of 1850, 1860. This is the New York and Erie Railway organizational chart from 1855. Businesses still look a lot like this today. They're built on staff line models because up until a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't possible to really communicate in depth across large organizations. Information had to go up and then down, and then we had a whole bunch of email noise that we don't read. This is changing. When we start thinking about junior people managing 1,000 processes, 1,000 AIs, radically amplifying their potential, and we can argue what year it is. It's 6 months from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. It's not 20. It's in your careers. It's as you're growing up as leaders. When you change the relationships between people, processes, and machines, you change the nature of power in the organizations. What we're going to need to do is figure out how we're going to radically devolve power in our organizations moving forward. Now, I have a quick question for all of you. Because we got Nobel Prize winners in the room. How many brains do you have? Didier may have more, Peter may have more. I've got one, I'm sure most of you do. But the octopus is a fascinating species because it doesn't have one brain, it has 9. It has a large brain that deals with executive function, but it has 8 smaller brains, kind of tentacle brains, that deal with whatever's going on down here. And those brains, they don't directly communicate up to the executive function, every last thing that they're seeing, hearing, doing as the world's changing around them. They have a neural necklace that links all of these smaller neural nodes in the organization. When you look at what goes on in an octopus, this crazy ballet where it seems random but not, and somehow everything works, but the big brain's not paying attention, that's because it's pushed down decision-making skills, it's pushed down decision rights into the organization. The reason that the octopus has thrived for so many years isn't just that it uses this RNA to adapt. It's also structured itself so that it doesn't need to evolve, so that it is radically adaptive to the world around it in any given moment. As our world moves faster, as it collides with the future, we're going to need that kind of agility in our organizations today. What happens when everybody in the organization knows what's going on across the organization? What happens when everybody in the organization has chatbots that help them think like lawyers, help them think like doctors, help them think like management consultants? It changes the levers of power. It changes the nature of power.